In the name of God, in the first session of computational linguistics, I want to give you the lesson plan for this lesson, and I'm so sorry for delay. In this lesson, which is computational linguistics, we will hold about 13 to 16 sessions for this lesson. And I will read the articles and booklets to you line by line to understand it well. The articles and booklets or pamphlet. After the lesson, I will tell you the important points of the lesson that you must know in order to pass the final exam. My way is the same as your previous semester. I had about 2 lessons with you, and in this semester I have the same way of teaching. After teaching the 2 sessions in this semester, one session is dedicated to reviewing the previous 2 sessions. At the end of each session, you will be given an assignment. For each task, you should write a summary of the important points of each lesson in your own language, like the exam night notes. Through these assignments, you both understand your flows and don't accumulate lessons. You can ask me any questions or problems you may have through the WhatsApp group. And each of your assignments has a separate score, and some of these scores is considered as your midterm score. And you have to send me the tasks or assignments through the WhatsApp group in a specified time. You also have to upload those assignments to the model system. Your assignments are of vital importance and they have a high score, and you must send them on time. Okay, this was your lesson plan for this the computational linguistics. If you have any questions about this plan and about the scores, please ask me through the WhatsApp group. But at first, for the first session, I want to explain the general introduction to the Corpus Linguistics. Computational linguistics is concerned with the Corpus Linguistics, and we will read some booklet and some articles who are concerned with the Corpus Linguistics. Corpus Linguistics is a multidimensional area. It is an area with a wide spectrum for encompassing all diversities of language use in all domains of linguistic interaction, communication, and comprehension. The introduction of corpus is in language study and application has incorporated a new dimension to linguistics. Those points which are important for your final exam, and you should know all of them, are specified and they are clear by the line which is in the here we specified them for you. Okay, this paragraph is not important for your final exam, but this is important. Those who are specified with the line, you should know all of them. In principle, corpus linguistics is an approach that aims at investigating language and all its properties by analyzing large collections of text samples. This approach has been used in a number of research areas for ages, from descriptive study of a language to language education to lexicography, etc. It broadly refers to exhaustive analysis of any substantial amount of authentic spoken or written text samples. In general, it covers large amount of machine readable data of actual language use that includes the collection of literary and non-literary text samples to reflect on both the synchronic and diachronic aspects of the language. The uniqueness Corpus Linguistics lies in its way of using modern computer technology in collection of language data, methods used in processing all language databases, techniques used in language data and information retrieval, and strategies used in application of these in all kinds of language-related research and development activities. Here you can see the important matters which they lies in this two paragraph, but I will read all of these articles because you should be able to read articles and you should be familiar with the structure of articles. Okay. The uniqueness Corpus Linguistics lies in its way of using modern computer technology in collection of language data, methods used in processing language databases, techniques used in language data and information retrieval, and strategies used in application of this in all kinds of language-related research and development activities. I repeat it again to pay attention to this matter. Electronic or digital language corpus is new things. It has a history of nearly half a century. Therefore, we are yet to come to a common consensus as to what counts as corpus and how it should be designed, developed, classified, processed, and utilized. This paragraph is not important and it just gives us some information. The basic philosophy behind Corpus Linguistics has two wings. We have a cognitive drive to know how people use language in their daily communication activities, and if it is possible to build up intelligent systems that can efficiently interact with human beings. With this motivation, both computer scientists and linguistics have come together to develop language corpus that can be used for designing intelligent systems like machine translation system, language processing systems, speech understanding system, text analysis and understanding system, computer-aided instruction system, for the benefit of the language community at large. This paragraph is not important for final exam too. All branches of linguistics and language technology can benefit from insight obtained from the analysis of corpora. The description and analysis of linguistic properties collected from a corpus become of paramount importance in all many areas of human knowledge and application. But the matter which is very important, and I determined them for you, is in this part on what is corpus. You should know the definition of corpus. When I ask you in your final exam that I want you to define corpus, you should write these matters and you should refer to such features. The term corpus is derived from the Latin corpus, which means body, Please pay attention to this paragraph. The term corpus is derived from Latin form of corpus, which means body. At present, it means a representative collection of text of a given language, dialect, or other subset of a language to be used for linguistic analysis. I will repeat it again because it is important and it is concerned with the definition of corpus. And this definition is very important for the final exam. The term corpus is derived from Latin corpus, which means body. At present, it means a representative collection of text of a given language, dialect, or other subset of a language to be used for linguistic analysis. In finer definition, it refers to loosely any body of text, most commonly a body of machine-readable text, and more strictly a finite collection of machine-readable text sampled to be representative of a language or variety. In this paragraph, we read about the two definitions for corpus. Corpus contains a large collection of representative samples of text covering different varieties of language used in various domains of linguistic interaction. This definition is very good. Theoretically, corpus is capable of representing potentially unlimited selection of text. It is compatible to computer operational in research and application, representative of the source language, processable by man and machine, unlimited in data, and systematic in formation and representation. Here we can see some salient features of corpus. You should be able to name these salient or outstanding features of corpus, and you should know about one line or a summary of this matter. We have some features, which is quantity, quality, representation, simplicity, equality, retrievability, verifiability, augmentation, documentation. Maybe I ask you to explain, for example, the verifiability. You should know all of this, the summarization of each part. Here, if I want you for the final exam to write the salient features of corpus, and I want you to just name them, you should just name quantity, quality, representation, and simplicity, and other features, and even the content of their article is very important. But what about quantity? These features are correct for all of the corpus. Quantity. But what we mean by quantity? It should be big in size, containing a large amount of data either in a spoken or written form. Size is virtually the sum of its components, which constitute its body. It is about the quantity. But what about quality? Authenticity. All text should be obtained from actual examples of speech and writing. The role of linguist is very important here. He has to verify if language data is collected from ordinary communication and not from experimental conditions or artificial circumstances. It is about the quality of each corpus, which they should obtain from the actual example of speech and writing. And it is the important part of each research. Another feature is representation. You should know just about one line for these features. Representation, it should include samples from a wide range of texts. It should be balanced to all areas of language use to represent maximum linguistic diversities. As further analysis devised on it need verification and authentication of information from the corpus representing language. Another feature is simplicity. It should contain plain text in simple form. This means that we expect an unbroken string of character words without any additional linguistic information marked up within the text. A simple plain text is opposed to any kind of annotation with various linguistic and non-linguistic information. About the equality, samples used in corpus should be of even size. However, this is a controversial issue and will not be adopted everywhere. Sampling model may change, consider to make a corpus more representative and multidimensional. Another feature is retrievability. Data, information, examples, and references should be easily retrievable from corpus by the end users. This pays attention to preserving techniques of language data in electronic format in computer. The present technology makes it possible to generate corpus in PC and preserves it in such a way that we cannot easily retrieve data and when required. And you should know just the important point of these features. Another feature is verifiability. Corpus should be open to any kind of empirical verification. We can use data from corpus for any kind of verification. This puts Corpus Linguistics steps ahead of intuitive approach to language study. Augmentation, it should be increased regularly. This will put corpus at par to register linguistic change occurring in a language in course of time. Over time, by addition of new linguistic data, a corpus achieves historical dimensions for diachronic studies and for displaying linguistic cues to arrest changes in life and society. Another feature is documentation. Full information of a component should be kept separate from the text itself. It's always better to keep documentation information separate from the text and include only minimal header containing a reference to documentation. In case of corpus management, this allows effective separation of plain text from annotation with only a small amount of programming effort. Another paragraph which are not important is TDIL corpus for Indian languages. The generation of corpus for the Indian languages began in 1991 when the Department of Electronic Government of India initiated a project which its name was Technology Development for Indian Languages, to develop matching readable corpus of text in all the major Indian language. Also, emphasis was laid on development of software for language processing, like POS tagging, text encoding, frequency, and counting, spelling checking, morphological process, etc., as well as for designing a system for matching translation from English to Indian languages. This paragraphs is not very important. Okay. Indian Institute of Technology. Delhi was given the task for developing corpus of Indian English, Hindi or Punjabi. Central Institute of Indian Languages, Mysores, was assigned for corpus of Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and Malayalam. The colleague Pune developed corpus of Marathi and Gujarati. Indian Institute of Applied Language Science, Bhabaneswar developed corpus of Oriya. Here, just explain about this project, which the important one is TDIL, which is in 1995, which was worked on that in 1995, and this information is not important for your final exam, and you should just know those important matter which we specify for you. Conceptual classification of corpora. Since electronic corpus is new things, we are yet to reach to a common consensus to what counts as a corpus and how it should be classified. The classification scheme I propose here goes as far as it is prudent at the present moment. It offers a reasonable way to classify corpora with clearly delimited categories wherever possible. Different criteria for classification are applied to corpora, subcorpora, and their related components. Linguistic criteria may be external and internal. External criteria are largely mapped onto corpora from text typology concerned with participants, occasion, social setting, communicative function of language, etc. Internet criteria are concerned with recurrence of a language in a broad scheme in the following manner. And we have genre-based text, nature of data, type of text, purpose of design, and nature of application. Here we have this classification of corpora. Genre of text. For the genre of text, we have some paired, which one of them is written corpus, speech corpus, and spoken corpus. About the written corpus, a written corpus like TDIL corpus, by virtue of its genre, contains only language data collected from various written, printed, published, and electronic sources. But what about the speech corpus? The speech corpus, like Wellington corpus of spoken New Zealand English, contains all formal and informal discussion, debates, previously made talks, impromptu analysis, casual and normal talks, dialects, monologues, various types of conversation, online dictation, instant public addressing, etc. There is no scope of media involvement in such text. But what about the spoken corpus? Spoken corpus, like London land corpus of spoken English, a technical extension of speech corpus, contain texts of spoken language. In such corpus, speech is represented in written form without change except transcription. It is annotated using a form of phonetic transcription. These three features, written corpus, speech corpus, and spoken corpus, are three subparts of the genre of text. About the nature of data, we have some subfield, which one of them is general corpus. General corpus, like British National Corpus, comprises general text belonging to different disciplines, genre, subject fields, and registers. Considering the nature of its form and utility, it is finite in number of text collection. That means number of text type and number of words and sentences in it are limited. It has an opportunity to grow over time and to append new data with availability of new text. It is very large in size, rich in variety and wide in representation, and vast in utilization scope. Okay, it was a general corpus. Another nature of another type of corpus based on the nature of data is a special corpus. A special corpus, like the child's debates, is designed from text sampled in general corpus for a specific variety of language, dialect, and subject, with emphasis on certain properties of the topic under investigation. It varies in size and composition according to purpose. It doesn't contribute to the description of a language because it contains a high proportion of unusual features. Its origin is not reliable as it records the data from people not behaving normally. Special corpus is not balanced except within the scope of its given purpose, and if used for other purposes gives distorted and skewed view of language segments. It is different principle since it features one or other variety of normal authentic language, corpus of language of children, non-native speakers, user of dialect, and special areas of communication like okay, I will read it again. Since it features one or other variety of normal authentic language, corpus of language of children, non-native speakers, users of dialect, and special areas of communication like auction, medical, tax, gambling, court proceeding, etc. are designated as special corpus because of their non-representative nature of the language involved. Its main advantage is that texts are selected in such a way that the phenomena one is looking for occur more frequently in it than in balanced corpus. A corpus that is enriched in such a way is smaller than a balanced corpus providing same type of data. Another page to speak about the sublanguage corpus. It contains of only one text. In sublanguage we have just one text variety of a particular language. It is at the other end of linguistic spectrum of a reference corpus. the homogeneity of its structure, and especially lexicon allows the quantity of data to be small to demonstrate typically good and closure properties. Another one is sample corpus. Sample corpus, like Zurich corpus of English newspaper, is one of the categories of a special corpus which is made with samples containing finite collection of text, chosen with great care and studied in details. Once a sample corpus is developed, it is not added to or changed in any way, because any kind of change will imbalance as constitution and distort research requirement. Samples are small in number in relation to text and of constant size, therefore they do not qualify as text. Another type is literary corpus. A special category of sample corpus is literary corpus, of which there are many kinds. Classification criteria considered for generation of such corpus include author, genre, odds, short stories, fiction, period, which is 15th century to 18th century, etc. Group, like romantic poets, Augustan, prose writers, Victorian novelists, etc. Theme, which is revolutionary writing, a family narration, industrialization, and other issues as valued parameters. Another one is monetary corpus. Monetary corpus, like Bank of English, is growing a non-finite collection of text with scope for constant augmentation of data reflecting changes in language. Constant growth of corpus reflect change in language, leaving untouched the relative weight of its components as defined by parameters. The same composition schema is followed year by year. From monitor corpus we find, as I told you, this kind of schema, monitor corpus, should be followed year by year. The basis of monitor corpus is of reference to text spoken or written in one single year. From monitor corpus we find new words, track variation in usage, observe change in meaning, establish long-term norm of frequency distribution, and drive a wide range of lexical information. Over time, the balance of components of a monitor corpus changes because new sources of data become available and some new procedures enable scarce materials to become plentiful. The rate of flow is adjusted from time to time. Another type we have these features which I introduced for you. This matter was about the nature of data. I just experienced a tip of tongue for a moment, so sorry. Okay, according to nature of data, we had general corpus, which we explain it. Another one is special corpus with its example and definition. A sub-language corpus. Another one is sample corpus, literary corpus, monetary corpus. And here we want to read about type of text. We have classify type of text according to the language which are involved in the corpus. For example, for monolingual we have just one language, and for bilingual corpus we have two language. For multilingual we have more than two language. About the monolingual corpus, like ISI Bengali corpus, contains representative text of a single language. Here we are concerned with a single language, representing its use in a particular period or in multiple periods. It contains about written and spoken text samples, outlining their cohabitation and relational interface doesn't hamper proposed work of the investigators. Another type of corpus is bilingual corpus. In bilingual corpus, like TDIL Bengali Oriya corpus is formed when corpora of two related or not related languages are put into one frame. If these languages are genetically or typologically related, they became parallel corpus, which we will explain them more in the following matters. And okay, where texts are aligned following some predefined parameters like size, content, field may vary from corpus to corpus, which is not permitted in case of parallel corpus. Another matter is a multilingual corpus, which like creator corpus, which contains a representative collection from more than two languages, generally here as well as in bilingual corpus. Similar text categories and identical samples procedures are followed. Also, texts belong to different languages. Okay, I think the matters for this session is enough, and I just review the important matter for you, and after 2 lessons I will review them again. Okay, in this session we introduce you an article which its subject is about, which its title is about Corpus Linguistics, a general introduction by Niladri Sehardash. Here we don't have any affiliation for writer, and here it is a title. At first we had introduction. Just here we don't have very important matter in this part, just important part which I determined for you. Just follow them. And about the corpus, you should know the definition of corpus, which was derived from the Latin corpus, which it refers to body in the Latin time. At present, it means a representative collection of text or a given language, dialect, or other subset of a language to be used for linguistic analysis. You should know these features for each corpus. And when I want you to define the corpus, you should know these features, and you should refer them. Which corpus, its term is derived from the Latin corpus, which its original meaning was body, and it means the representative collection of text of a given language, dialect, or other subset of a language to be used for linguistic analysis. In finer definition, corpus refers to loosely any body of text, a body of matching readable text most commonly, and a finite collection of matching readable text sample to be representative of a language or variety. Corpus itself contains a large collection of representative samples of text covering different varieties of language used in various domains of linguistic interaction. Theoretically, corpus is capable of representing a potentially unlimited selection of text. It is compatible to computer operational in research and application, representative of a source language, processable by man and machine, unlimited in data, and systematic in information and representation. This feature was belonged to the definition of corpus. Here we refer to the salient features of corpus, which you should know these features and their definition just in one line or two. The salient features of corpus was quantity, another was quality, representation, simplicity, equality, retrievability, verifiability, augmentation, documentation. You should know very briefly about these features. For example, in quantity, which is concerned with the size of corpus. It should be big in size, containing a large amount of data, either in spoken or written forms. Size is virtually the sum of its components, which constitute its body. Another feature is quality. All text should be obtained from actual example of speech and writing. The role of a linguist is very important. He has to verify if language data is collected from ordinary communication and not from experimental condition or artificial circumstances. Another feature, for example, is representation. It should include sample from a wide range of text. It should be balanced to all areas of language used to represent maximum linguistic diversities. As a future analysis device, and it needs verification and authentication of information from the corpus representing a language. And another feature which you can see here, and I explain them for you. You should know their outstanding features. Here we have the TDIL corpora of Indian languages, which is not very important for us, and there isn't any need to read these paragraphs. And another matter is conceptual classification of corpora, which we had some classification of corpora in a broad scheme in the following manner, which we have according to conceptual classification of corpora. We have genre of text, nature of text, nature of data, type of text, purpose of design, and nature of application. For genre of text, we had a written corpus, speech corpus, and spoken corpus, which I defined them for you. Another one is nature of data, which is classification is according to the nature of data, which is general corpus, special corpus, sublanguages corpus, ensemble corpus, literary corpus, monetary corpus. We read all of them. And another one is type of text, which is monolingual corpus, which we are deal with just one language, and bilingual corpus we deal with two languages, and multilingual corpus is related to more than 2 languages. Okay, this is enough for your first session. Please read all of these matters and ask me any question or concerns through WhatsApp, or you can help each other to understand these matters and solve your problem.